as soon as I decided to have children through surrogacy, that's the route that I wanted to go and pursue because I could afford it, A, and B, you know, I just knew I always wanted to have children, but on a more meta level, for me, it was important to have my own biological children because that's a way to keep my father alive. You know, his DNA, like I look at my son and he looks more like my dad than I do. It's wild. It's such a blessing. So thankfully, I worked with an agency that helped facilitate every aspect of the process from finding an egg donor to finding a surrogate to the legal paperwork to make sure that everything was all the X's and O's were crossed and everything was taken care of before I even set foot in the hospital. Because, well, back 9 years ago, there were people that were still doing surrogacy, but it wasn't as common as it is now. And even now, it's still not that common. Like you might have some hospitals that don't really do many gay surrogacy cases at all or any. So I had my agency help me find egg donors. I went through their catalog and I thought it would be really difficult to find somebody, but I found someone very quickly and easily. I'm like, oh my God, she's the one. And I picked her for a variety of reasons. Well, two really important reasons. One, she seemed really nice. And I wanted in the future to be able to tell my kids, I chose that woman because she seemed really nice. Like you could just tell. And then when I went into the fertility clinic to give my sperm over, they said that the egg donor was there who's anonymous. So I don't know anything. I mean, I know the family history and the medical information about the egg donor, but I don't know her name or her contact information or anything like that. But the egg donor happened to live in California somewhere and was able to drive to the same fertility clinic that I did. And they're like, she was lovely. She's so lovely. And I'm like, I picked her well. And then the second reason I chose that specific egg donor, I'm like, and listen, I love being honest. If you know anything about Perez Hilton, I keep it real. I picked her because I'm like, wow, she looks like she could be my cousin. Like we look kind of related. And I thought, wow, if I pick her to have my kids are really going to look like me. So that's why I chose her.
I love that. Was there a time, like, how did you decide? Like, okay, I'm ready to have kids now. Like, was there, like, were you waiting for anything in particular or?
I was just waiting to get to a point where I felt financially secure enough with the risk that my career would suffer as a result of having children. Cause I'm like, I'm like the woman, like the woman, the female movie star. Some of their careers might or do or could suffer after they become moms. So I needed to be comfortable with that thought and made sure that I had enough money to do it and to figure things out for a few years and then I just went for it because I did not want to keep waiting more than that. I did not want to keep waiting for a husband. And also, I think on some subconscious level, I wanted to be a single dad because I take being a parent so seriously. And I know the divorce rate amongst heterosexual people. I would imagine that gay men probably split up even more than their straight counterparts, So I didn't want to have to worry about splitting custody. I didn't want to have to worry about my kids going 3 days to this house or 3 days to that house or whatever it might be. They're my children, and I wanted to be able to provide for them stability and to be able to decide what's best for them. And I would definitely love a man in my life, a great partner, but with the understanding that these are my kids. You're not going to adopt them, and that's that.